There's going to be a great change since you've been born. You're going to get into yourself. Be yourself. Know yourself.
Amen.
And the things that we think is so important, the things, man, was so hard for me too, man. Man, I tried sometimes. That's why certain things I never do again, because I knew how hard it was for me to get away from some things. And I don't want that on nobody else. I don't respect those that do that. And we always talking about the so-called slave master this, the so-called slave master that. But you're the one that's the slave. You're the one that's putting me, you and me is the one that's putting our people into slavery. You know, so this is a beautiful chapter.
It is.
That when they put Jesus on the cross, you know, he was a Buddhist. And he left the body. And the spirit left the body, but physical man couldn't see it because you're a physical thinking person. And this is what we was taught. We was taught to look at all these lessons that's in the biblical scriptures as something physical. All our lessons that we see, we look at as physical, not knowing that there's an esoterical teachings, as well as a literal teachings. There's a symbolic teachings. So when these lessons are given to us, they're given to us from different perspectives. You know, so what I'm gonna do right now is, we got some good things that we're in the process of doing, you know, here at Portland, Oregon, and I'm so happy about it. And what I want to do right now is call one of our members and one of our ranking officials, Sister Mason Bay.
Thank you, Sheikh. Islam Moors. I'm glad to be here today, and to elaborate on this chapter is really a good chapter. If anybody doesn't have any Qurans and would like to have Qurans, you should contact us.
Right.
Or I don't know if we can get the number up on the screen or not today, but you need to stay in touch with us. We need you Moors. We need you more than you really realize. It's a lot going on in Portland, and especially with Moorish Science Temple number 2. We're starting Sunday school. We're still trying to get funds for a building. Our youngsters, that's what I'm really interested in, our youngsters, because a lot of us, we know right from wrong, but we choose to do what we want to do, and that's not a good thing, especially with the children. If you don't think about yourself, think about them, because they are our future. And they already know the things that's going on that's not right, that's not proper, that's not right with the world. They know this, but they need the Moorish Science Temple, and most of all, they need their parents. If that's just a mother, we need you. We need those children to learn things that they didn't let us learn, but we found out later. But our children need to know now. And with that, the little twins that's on our shows, they're great kids. They made this drawing.
Oh, wow,
and they're doing a lot of things. I mean, they're learning a lot of things. They're teaching us a lot of things. So we want you guys to not just watch us and then as the week go by, nothing happens. We don't hear from you, don't watch us again until the next Sunday. Let's get up and do something. This is Portland, and a lot of people think a lot of bad things and less things about Portland, and especially about the Moors. You know as well as I know what the Moors can do, what they're capable of. The world knows. But what we're showing them is what they're saying we are, and we know better. So we'd like for you guys to, especially with mothers, mobilists with children, get involved, contact us. We need those children. We need to send them in the right way. We don't want them going out there fighting and thinking it's okay. We want them to learn the Moorish way. We want to show them what they are, who they are. And without your help, it's going to be hard to do. But that's who we're looking for. We're looking for the young, these children. I mean, I'm for the older Moors too, but hey, you've got the information. You have the capability to get up and do something and you won't. Those little ones, they have to follow you. They have to do what you say do. And what you're showing them is not very nice. You might not like where I'm coming from today, but think about what you're doing on a daily basis.
That's right, Mom.
with those children. That's all we got. And if you don't help them, we are lost. And with that, I want you to know that we're on our way to Chicago, and I'm ecstatic and happy about this. And our little sisters are going too. But see, next year, if we all come together, next year we can make it an even larger event from Portland. We can represent Portland.
That's right.
We as Moors, we can represent Portland. And we're trying to do that, but we're gonna need your help. You're gonna have to help us. We just can't do it all alone. We have Allah, but we need you. You're Moors. Get up and do something. You know, we're going to see Noble Drew Ali's grave. I mean, this is exciting to me. This man brought us all this information. We never knew about it. We've heard of Marcus Garvey, but I had never heard of Noble Drew Ali. And when I did, I was so thankful to Allah.
That's right,
for what he had shown me.
That's right, man.
So I'm just asking you guys, just give it a chance. I mean, what's wrong with giving it a chance? You have nothing to lose. You've lost everything else. You now lost your nationality. So why can't you come to us and do what I did? Hey, I'm lost. Please help me find myself. Brother told me, hey, you found yourself. You're here asking for help. So I'm asking you, Moors, please, please, I beg of you, please come see us and help us. We need you as much as you need us, whether you see it or not. This thing is, the way we're living, this is going away. This is going away. I've gotten to a place where now I can accept death because I know it's just the body.
That's right, Mom.
So I want you people, really, and I'm getting back to the children. Because if I get to the children, I'm already talking to the Moabites. Give us those kids and work with us with those children. And we can do some great things here in Portland, Oregon. So I don't want you to forget what I'm saying today. Keep this in the back of your mind all week. You love your child the way you say you do, think about it. Is he getting the proper education? I don't think so.
That's right, Mom.
Because he's not getting the right education. He knows nothing about his people. They need at least that. They shouldn't go around here thinking that they're less than zero. Doesn't make sense and it's not right. Think of the children. And with that, I say peace.
Oh, praise Allah, Mom. Praise Allah. See how fortunate we are. You know, the sister ain't been in the temple but a few months, but that Moabite spirit is in her, and I want to thank Allah for her. You know, a few creations ago, I talked about a book, and the book I talked about was the book called Pilgrim's Progress, and I had said that this book, Pilgrim's Progress, was one of the first books that I read all the way through. And John Bunyan had wrote this book back in the 18th century. Mm-hmm. And this book was one of the books that was required for the Moors to read in ancient times. And in this book, it's talking about all of the characters in the world. Hmm. And let me read some of them to you. It talks about the evangelist. It talked about hypocrisy. It talked about goodwill. It talked about obstinate. It talked about Mr. Worldly Ride, and Mr. Bigot, and Mr. Know-It-All. And what it was talking about in the book is that the pilgrim is on a progress. The pilgrim is on a road to progress. And the pilgrim that's on the road to progress is you and me.
That's right.
And we always say that a Muslim is one who submits his will to Allah. And we always think submitting your will to Allah is praying. But submitting your will to Allah is submitting yourself to the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, And if you do that, then these are the things that will no longer be a part of you. Because Mr. Know-it-all, Mr. Christ-like, Mr. Bigot, Mr. Everything, Mr. Worldly Wise. See, all these attributes are attributes that's inside you and me. See, every day, I remember years ago, we used to do a lot of fasting. We used to do a lot of mental fasting. And the reason why we did mental fast along with physical fasting is because we didn't want to do no talking. All we want to do is just talk to Allah. And when we did that, we found out that a lot of times we just talk just to talk. See, a lot of times you have some people will say something and things need to be said, and some people just to say things, just to say it and say it, and they don't have nothing else to do. So this book, John Bunyan wrote, Pilgrim's Progress, is telling man to look inside of yourself. And when you look inside of yourself, there's some bad things in there. You always talking about somebody else. You always got your finger pointing at somebody else before them is pointing back at you.
That's right.
Because we are all growing. We are all elevating. And this is what that book is, Mr. Worldly Wise. That means you want to go everywhere in the world. You want to do everything. You want to wear everything. You got to do all. Mr. Bigot, Mr. Know-it-all, Mr. Evangelist, oh, especially Mr. Evangelist, because Mr. Evangelist, if it ain't your way, it ain't no way at all. If it ain't the way that you was taught about God, then nobody else's way exists. And you know what? It is a sin. It is a sin for anyone to oppose their brothers and sisters for their religious beliefs. Now, when you talk about a color, what color is the spirit? See? Because the man is not the body nor the soul. See, when you begin to talk about God, we're not talking about a physical color. We're talking about the spirit. Because there was a guy by the name of John Brown at Harper's Ferry. Was one of the first ones that got killed during the slave revolt. But John Brown was a European, but he was Asiatic in thought. See? Because when you begin to talk about thought, and when you begin to talk about the human family, see? When you begin to talk about the human race, see, really it ain't but one race. Say what you want. It's only one race, and this one race is the human race. But this human race is subdivided into two different formulations for identification purposes only. And it wasn't always like that.
Islam.
See? It was not always two formulations in the human family.
Islam.
It was only one. It was the human family. But now, in the human family, you have two formulations. And what are the two formulations that you have? Ain't but two. And the two formulations that you have is Asiatic or European. You one or the other. You're Asiatic or you're European. Now, all of those, they call themselves is European. The Japanese, the Chinese, the Vietnamese, the Spanish speakers, the Asiatics of African descent, all of us is considered Asiatic. Now, why is that?
Islam.
Because you done separated yourself from me, man. You better than me now. You can go to heaven and I can't. You all right with God. Now you do that because you messed up with me and you player hating because God can't send Jesus to me first. God will send Moses to me first. Now you just want to take my Moses. Yeah, you want to take my Moses too. We don't talk a lot about Moses right now.
Islam.
And the reason why we don't do a lot of talking about Moses right now, because just like Kendall Husserl in Washington, D.C., you start talking about Moses, the people that love Moses or say they love Moses got all the money. They call themselves Jew. So now those who call themselves Jew, they don't like Jesus because they say Moses got more science than Jesus. But now Jesus and Moses, both of them is born in Africa. I don't understand that. Yes, I understand. Because the gifts of understanding are the treasures of Allah. And he appointed to everyone his portion in what measure seemeth good unto himself. So now what we need to do right now, charity begins at home. Islam. And what we have to do is take the charity that we have in us and give it to your grandchildren.
Islam.
Give it to your nieces.
Islam.
Give it to your nephews.
Islam.
Get into them and be a pattern. See, men need a pattern for their life. They love to follow and not to lead. And the man who stands upon the corners of the path and points the way but does not go is a pointer, and a block of wood can do the same. So now we don't have a lot of time on earth. And we see the condition that we are in as a people. And you know good and well, because we was taught to learn to love instead of hate. But man, there's a million more Donald Sterns out there.
There's
Oh, whatever his name is, Stern for the Clippers. There's a million more of them out there. That's who run the country. And we keep talking about our little 300 little children that got taken from Africa. That's right here. That's right here in America. Slavery is still going on. You have the mindset of our people. When Noble Ali talked to the brother in the Saudi Arabia, he said, give me back what's mine. And they thought he was talking about something tangible. He said, no, give me back the mind of my people. That's why when you look in the Moorish Holy Quran, you see Noble Ali on the first page, but on the second page, you see the head of the holy city of Mecca. And the reason why you see the head of the holy city of Mecca on the second page is because of Hagar and Ishmael and Abraham. See, so we know the lessons that need to be taught to you and me as a people.
Islam.
I was looking at C-SPAN yesterday, because I like C-SPAN, and I seen this brother called Cornelius West on C-SPAN. And I wanted to look at him because this brother used to be a professor at Princeton University. He's a mutis now. So when I see certain brothers, I got to listen to them because I'm young to a lot of them. They've been around way much longer than me. So I like to honor them. But one thing that he said yesterday that it was hard for me to accept, because I don't know what Stern's religion is. Stern, that's the president of the Clippers. I don't know what his religion is. I never heard nobody mention his religion. But I bet you his religion is that. I bet his religion is the same one that crucified Jesus. Because of that money he got.
Islam.
He got that $1 billion. That money that come from slavery. That's where that money come from, $1 billion. And all those people with $1 billion. Where did it come from? Even the Kennedys, we respect them. But all of the Kennedys, when they're born, they get $1 million in their account. Because of Joe had all the scotch. He had all the liquor. So come on, let's be for real with this. So this country, when it was built, it came from Europe. They opened up the prisons and sent all of those here to America to formulate this. When you talk about the Missouri Compromise, when you talk about the Kansas-Nebraska Act, you know, when you talk about the Louisiana Purchase, see, when you begin to talk about all of these different laws that we have in this government, you know where they extend from? They extend from the Dred Scott decision of 1857. Now, the Dred Scott decision of 1857, this is something that Jeremy Bay was adamant that all of the Moors read in them preparation centers. The Dred Scott decision, Chief Justice Roger B. Tanner told us that until we have a nationality, we have no rights that a citizen is bound to respect.
Islam.
This is what he said. This is what the Chief Justice at that time, Roger B. Tanner, said. So now, when they say that you're 3/5 of a man, if you're 3/5 of a man, then that means you have no rights that a citizen is bound to respect, because you're calling yourself something that's not you. Now, man today is what his forefathers were yesterday. And there's no one who is able to change man from the decent nature of his mother and father unless his power extends beyond the great universal creator, Allah himself. That's why we got to walk in that spirit. I was talking to the chairman yesterday, and in our conversation, we were saying it ain't but one way. When we get together, it ain't but one way, and that's the right way. It ain't no two selves. See, man have two selves. He have a higher and a lower self, but we morals are striving to be our higher self. So whenever I go around that brother, whenever I go around this sister, I ain't going to show you nothing but the higher self, because that's the self that I'm being. Because the man today is what his forefathers was yesterday, and our forefathers. See, our forefathers. That's why in this book, The Pilgrim's Progress, I like to suggest this book because you see all of these different characteristics. And we don't realize, the prophet said, when you see not thyself, then others discover you more plainer. So in us, we got a lot of ways sometimes. And we don't even realize, even us ministers, we got a lot of ways in us that's not good. We got a lot of bad ways in us that's real bad. Our ether, our vibration, all of these things ain't too good sometimes. You know, and this is why we keep having trouble with our membership. This is why the leadership. See, when you begin to talk about the leadership, the head is no stronger than the body. One without the other is but half. You need all to make one. So we got to start studying things. That's why we had the tools of the workshop of the mind. And they said these tools remind me of the ones that we deal in the workshop of the mind, where things are made of thought and where we build up character. So now, once we begin to look at these attributes and see if they're inside of you and me, and we'll begin to start applying these attributes to our life, then we grow. See, that's what Jesus did. Jesus had to go through 7 tests. Matter of fact, the sister talking about Jesus, there was a sister on a hopping cord. Yeah, in one of the tests that Jesus had to go through. And I read that in the book that come out of Egypt, and a couple of Moors have that book. And there was a woman on a hopping cord playing some music, and Jesus got caught up for a minute. He said, good Google move, this sister's so fine. She got me. So don't think that Jesus didn't have to fight this human nature that he had. See, that's what a lot of us don't understand. We keep looking for Jesus and being somebody way up there in the sky. This is why you can't understand in your own mind that Jesus had a brother or a sister. Because when you look at the virgin birth, you only think that Jesus was born without Mary and Joseph making love to one another. And they made love to one another. They didn't lust one another because they was married. In some biblical scriptures, they say that they was married. In some biblical scriptures, they say they wasn't married. But I do know that Mary was a part of the Essene Brotherhood. I knew Jesus was a part of the Essene Brotherhood. I knew that the Essene Brotherhood was the Great White Brotherhood. See, there is a Great White Brotherhood. And the Great White Brotherhood is the Moorish Temple of America. Because white means purity. Purity means God. And God means the ruler of the land. In this era time, you even got Moors say they white. Drew Ali told me Asiatic, so I'm going to keep it the way that Drew Ali told it to me. But some people say they white, and I understand that. Because white means purity, purity means God, and God means the ruler of the land. There's no such thing as a white man. If you could show me a white man, I'd give you $100,000. And I'm kind of short, I don't have it right now. But if you could show me a white man, I'll have it for you before the evening is out. Because he's an Italian, he's a Dutch, he's a Portuguese, he's a French, etc., etc., etc. And if I called him white, then I'd be disrespecting his forefathers. And I'm not going to disrespect your forefathers because I know that they have something in March the 17th called Irish American Day. See? They have St. Patrick's Day. And I'm not going to disrespect that day and call it white when I know it's Irish. And see, when you say Irish, they remind me of the characteristic because you have Irish, you have Moorish, you have Spanish, and you even have Danish. And if you had a Danish bun and you ate this Danish bun and it tastes like a grapefruit, then you knew that the ish is not there. If you see a brother and a sister that say that they're Moorish Americans, but they're acting like they're Negro, colored, and black, then you know the ish is not there. Same thing go with every other nationality. If you diametrically opposed and not living according to what it say, then the ish is not there. And why are we Moorish Americans? Because we are descendants of Moroccans and born in America. And the Moroccans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. I was talking to the Moor today, and we was talking about Ethiopia. See? Because Ethiopia was known before the Greeks did what they did as Abyssinia.
Islam.
So that's one of the reasons why Noble Drew Ali said we're not Ethiopians. And you know they say Ethiopians, see, Jesus walked through all them shores. See? But when you begin to talk about Ethiopia, you know, he said Ethiopia is something divided. And they think that they weigh more than any other Africa of the day too. And now the slave trade. The slave trade came through West Africa, probably say the northwestern, southwestern shores of Africa. So now what's going on now with those 30 little young sisters? See, that's in West Africa. So we, as a people, we as a community, we as brothers and sisters, because when I say brothers and sisters, I'm not even talking about the color. See, I'm not even talking about the color when I'm talking about brothers and sisters. When I'm talking about the community, I'm talking we have to work together. Because, I mean, everywhere I went, I seen stuff for the community telling you that don't drink the water. Did they say it was colored only, or Negroes only, or black only? They say it's Portland community, and we are part of this community. So it's always an honor. You know, it's always a pleasure. It's always a duty for us Moorish Americans to come before our Portland community. We might not be here next week. We're thinking because we are be on our way back from Chicago. We're taking the Moors to Chicago and let them see some things because you have so many people when you have hold something down on your brothers and sisters, then you can use it against them. I'm going to take them there so they can have it all for themselves, so they can do it for themselves. So they got to answer to nobody but God. So praise Allah and honor to the Prophet. The Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple. Know yourself and your Father God Allah, that you may learn to love instead of hate. Every man needs to worship under his own vine and fig tree, the uniting of Asia. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. Wade in the water, wade in the water, Marvin, wade in the water. Drew Ali done trouble the water. Who are those children all dressed in white? Look like the children of the Israelites. Who are those children all dressed in green? Look like the children that you are redeemed. I said, away in the water, wade